Well, a very warm welcome to the Voice of Boxing podcast, episode number 9, in association with Loungers TV, the streaming platform that we love. And I love this next guy, and I love his story. It's a fantastic one. He is in probably cloud cuckoo land at the moment because he's got an absolute dream opportunity coming up, and it's something he's worked very, very hard for throughout his career. I've got Tyler Denny on the Voice of Boxing podcast. Tyler, you're joining us from training. We're not going to disturb you for too long. Of course, you have a few weeks to go until this massive night for you on September the 21st when you star on the AJ Dubois Riyadh season. Huge card of boxing. Yeah, firstly, how are you doing? I mean, I saw you at the press conference at Wembley a while ago, and it looked like you were still dreaming.
Yeah, firstly, thanks for having me on. It's been a bit of a whirlwind couple of weeks, I think, from the Felix Cash fight. At the time, that was massive for me, headlining Results World. And then the day after, I get a call about Hamzah Sheeraz, Wembley Stadium. And I think it was the Wednesday, I seen you on the press conference. So from the Saturday to the Wednesday, it was all crazy. But it's what we get into boxing for, doing these big fights. And I've paid my dues, and I'm ready for it.
You've more than paid your dues. And we'll talk about a little bit of your journey. I've seen you over the years, and often you've been on the right side of bills. You've come up the small hall way, which I've got so much respect for fighters that do that, maybe that don't have that sort of huge promotional backing, or that sell masses of tickets, or, you know, everything's built towards them. And you know, you are a shining example, really, Tyler, of someone that's really, you know, done it the hard way, earned your corn, and you deserve to be in this position. I guess the first thing is, are you surprised that you are here, or do you think it's absolutely worthy of what you've done in the sport, and that you deserve to be at this place at the table?
Yeah, I feel like I deserve it. I think I'm here on merit. If you look at my CV, the last how many people I've fought, I've took a lot of O's as well. And like I say, I've been expected to lose a few times, and that's the beautiful thing with boxing. You get opportunities, and it's up to you to take them then. All you can ask for is opportunities, and I've had the opportunities, and I've won, and I've got another one now. So I think in some sports or in some ways of life, you don't always get that. Do you know what I mean? So that's what makes boxing so special. That anyone can do it. Everyone given a level playing field, and you go in there, and it's up to you then.
Yeah, I love that attitude, the level playing field. And with what Turki Al-Sheikh has done, really to turn boxing completely on its head and give us, the fans, these dream fights, and you, the fighters, these wonderful chances, these opportunities. It's a great time, isn't it, for boxing? It's just a win-win.
Yeah. I'm sure you've done loads of work with Eddie and that before. No one would have thought Eddie and Frank could have been so pally, would they? But I think the biggest winners, I know everyone's getting paid and stuff, but the fans are making fights that you never really would make, because you thought that unrealistic because of the politics involved, but they're all getting made now. Do you know what I mean? So the best are fighting the best, and long may it continue. And hopefully it breaks down doors, you know. So even like on a lower level, that other fighters can fight other promoters on they can come together and say, we'll do this on Sky or DAZN or TNT, and everyone's winning then. People are getting the fights, and everyone wants the fights that people want to see are getting made.
I think that is what we're seeing actually in Britain with you and Felix Cash. You know, we had Chisora Joyce the other night. We've had the shows I work on at GBM with Izzy, some really close sort of 50-50 battles pretty much all the time. And I think that's really important for for the health of the sport, for the fans, the supporters, building new bases, because what they're doing in Saudi, and of course coming to LA as well, and coming to Wembley with the Riyadh season, and putting on a sort of monster event where it's not just about the top of the bill, it's about everyone on the show. Everyone's a headliner in their own right. It's dreamy, isn't it? It's something that we wouldn't have thought of 2 or 3 years ago. You mentioned Eddie and Frank, and I remember when Eddie just would never ever think about even speaking to Frank. I think he walked past him once in the street, and never wanted to utter a word. There was was real hate on both sides, and and then suddenly you see them at a press conference, and they're eating out in restaurants, and now Eddie's saying he's learning so much from working with him and with Spencer Brown. It's sort of mind-boggling. It's like, if you've gone away for 2 or 3 years and suddenly come back into this world and see it, it'd be like, what? I just don't believe it.
You never would have thought of it, would you? But it makes you think anything's possible, doesn't you? Because that was the last thing that anyone would have seen would happen. So there's hope for the world yet, I think.
Well, let's go back, Tyler. What got you into boxing in the first place? Where did the story begin? What did you want to make out of it? What were the ambitions in those early days?
It's just a friend kept doing my head in, really, asking me to come boxing. I think he just never wanted to go on his own. And in the end, I went. I think I was like 15 when I first started. And I sparred, and this guy had the better of me, to be honest. And I never really liked that my competitive edge. So then it was a case of me going as much as I could to get down there until I could get the better of him. And then so I ended up getting the better of him. And then he wouldn't spar me again after that. And then, but by the time, I never realised at the time, but by keep training and stuff, I got the bug for it then.
What were you doing before that? When you were a young kid, was it football? Was it?
Yeah, just football. Yeah. Football. That's all. Yeah, it's like even now, people say like, "What's your heroes in boxing?" But I never really had any. I was just pure football. I was so. It was just an hobby. Even when I turned professional, and then it was just an hobby. Like you said about ambitions and stuff. I never had any ambitions or targets. I just enjoyed doing it, and I still have that same sort of outlook now. Just do your best and see where you get to. And this
keeps your feet on the ground, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's important not to put a ceiling on things, because a lot of people have these targets and stuff, and then once you get to them targets, they maybe self-consciously they think, well, I've achieved everything now. So, do you know what I mean? Everything else is sort of a bonus sort of thing. But I just want to win. I just want to win everything that I go into, whether it's boxing, football, whatever I need to do, Monopoly. I just want to win. So the targets, and I've not got any targets for now. I want to be this belt or whatever. I just want to win. You give me a fight, and I'll put 110% into it to make sure I come out the winner. And that's the main thing.
I love the competitive edge to you guys, and AJ, I remember saying he hates losing at anything. You play him at chess, you play him at table tennis. It doesn't matter. You have to win, and it's that mentality. And also the different ways that fighters get into the sport, whether you're sort of born to do it, almost like your Mayweathers and your fathers and uncles have gone before you, and you've got a pair of boxing gloves on before you can almost walk, or fighters that get in a little bit later. And sometimes you hear that story of one or two go in and they don't like the first couple of times, and they want to come back and just put the record straight, and that's what happened to you. And then the guy didn't want to spar you when he realised that you were quite good at it.
Yeah, that's when it ended. But obviously, it would have been nice if you started young, looking back on things. But at the same time, I think I know a few boxers who started when they're like 8, 9 years old, and by the time they got to 18 and that, they're fed up with it, really. Maybe it was pushed on them a bit instead of wanting to do it themselves. And I think you get to the age where alcohol comes and women and whatever, and lifestyle choices, and I think they've been that locked away from everything just in life, that when they get that, they can't control. They want to go out every weekend and stuff. So I think not everyone, obviously, some people have done it from a child like the whole life, but I think there is that element as well. I think you can get too much too young, really, and I think by the time people are ready to turn professional, that they're sick of boxing by then.
Yeah, there's many hard things about the sport, and huge amounts that I respect in in you guys. First and foremost, the courage to even get into a ring in the first place, but the dedication and the will to win and the life that you have to give up, as you say. You can't have that sort of bad life outside you. You have to be drilled into getting into the best physical and mental shape each and every time you get into the ring. It's a process. It's a tough business, isn't it? And I guess that's part and parcel of what you have to live by every day, or certainly through your career, because careers can be short and you never know what's around the corner.
I think it's vital for me anyway. You got to have the right circle, the right people around you as well. Do you know what I mean? Not leading you out astray and stuff, and a bit of support as well from your partners or whatever, because that can be a big thing. I've got 4 kids, so it's hard really to. Everyone says you put your kids first, but in boxing, you do in the long run, but in the short term, you don't. You put boxing first, and boxing has to come first in order to put your kids first in the long run. Do you know what I mean? So there's times where, I don't know, the kids want to do this and that, and I have to say, I can't do it. Do you know what I mean? You have to train and whatever, and it's not even the training when you get back, and they say, but when we get back from training, but then I'm tired then. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you do feel a bit bad sometimes, but like I say, after a fight, I'll catch up with them and do a bit more things that they would like to do. Because I think with children and stuff as well, you can buy them all this stuff in the want as well, but they want your time, don't they? And that's the one thing that I've not got really at much is time. Really, it's just everything's focused on training.
That balance is really hard. It must be.
Yeah, it is hard. But I think my oldest is 13 now, so she understands. Do you know what I mean? So it gets easier. I think it gets easier, and they all understand. To be fair.
I don't know, 4 kids. That's another thing. That's another thing I respect about you. I've got 3, and that's hard enough. So yeah, no, it's fantastic, and they'll get your time, and I'm sure they're extremely proud of where you've got to. So as a sort of teenager and coming through, did you think that you turned professional? Did you think that it would end up being that business, that journey, or were there sort of other ambitions or other work that you thought, oh, I'm going to have to do this, or how did it unfold?
Yeah, I never turned professional until about 24. I think I was I done an apprentice in plumbing, and then I become a plumber. So that was my full-time job. It was hard. Then you turn professional, and you're getting up early, running, and then going to work all day, training on the night. Especially when you got kids as well, trying to get that balance. There was no balance. And that was until recently. I think like 3 years ago now, I went full-time. But trying to get that balance from there to this is just impossible, really. And it's not even so much that you train more, because sometimes I might only train twice a day still now, but it's your rest period. There was no rest before, so you get sparring on the night, and you've been grafting all day, and you've been for a run on the morning. It's tiring. So now I'm living my best life. I train in the morning. I come back and I have a nap. So I think that was it for me. But yeah, I never really had, I turned professional. Sometimes I think it's hard to justify why I turned professional now. When I look back on it, I was sparring a few pros. Andy Robinson, his name was. He was a decent fighter. He fought Liam Williams, Frank Buglioni and stuff. But I sparred with him, and his manager was watching. He said, "Oh, you should turn professional." And I never even give it a thought until then.
Really?
And then, yeah, no, I just sparring because I enjoyed sparring. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd spar every day if I could. I'd rather do that than circuits and track work and stuff. Unfortunately, you can't do it. But yeah, and you put it in my head. I thought, you know what? I may as well. I'm sick of. You did have these amateur fights, and you're just picking up a trophy. You've got 3 of the same ones or something. So may as well earn a bit of money out of it.
What was your record? What was your record as an amateur?
I think I'd won 25, lost 10
in
the end. But I fought all my amateurs like heavyweight. I was 81 kg at the time. I just enjoyed doing it. I never really dieted or anything. I'd done it because, like I said, I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed fighting. But even in my amateur record, I won the first one. Then I lost 3 in a row. So after 4 fights, I'd won 1, lost 3. So it would have been easy to quit then, I think, to be honest. But I just loved it, and I hated losing. I think I hate losing more than I love winning. Do you know what I mean? So I needed to kind of get it back, and then I won. After the 3rd loss in a row, I think I won 10 in a row after that. So I got better. I was determined to get better. I was thinking, no, I can't keep losing. There's no way. I'm not accepting. I'm not accepting this.
I'm really interested in the balance again of the fact that you had to work full time too for several years. You had that apprenticeship as a plumber. You turned pro at 24, and you're still obviously have to work because you're not earning the money. I was talking to Shaquille Thompson the other day, and he's got that 9 to 5 job. He's up running in the morning, and I'm thinking, how do you do this? You're unbeaten. You're getting to a certain level. I think Josh Warrington, he was a dental technician again. He took it to I don't know how many fights, but he was certainly balancing both. That's really, really hard because you say you're not getting your rest period. You're just constantly on the go.
Yeah, it's very hard, but I'm glad I've done it really because I think some people, not everyone, obviously, I'd still rather just go straight to boxing. But because I have done that sort of lifestyle, I appreciate this, what I've got so much more. Do you know what I mean? Because I've been there when you've had to do that. So I don't take nothing for granted now. I make sure, I don't really have no days off. I do something because I think, well, if I've got these sponsors helping me out, the least I can do is put 110% in. Do you know what I mean? And you never know what's around the corner. You could have a loss and then the sponsors pack it in and you could be back to that lifestyle. But I think if I got back to that now, I'd have to quit boxing. I don't think I could go back to doing all that again now. I've been living the good life. Do you know what I mean?
The good life. I think it's still a hard life, and
yeah, it's a hard life.
And I think people in the trade, we do understand, but there's a lot of people out there that just think, oh no, you get in the ring, you box, you make lots of money, and you win or you make lose, and you come back. It's a very, very different place, isn't it? To that.
It's hard as well, especially because when you're never in the house, and then you never got no money either. Like by the time, probably after the first 3-4 years, you've probably not earned a penny really. By the time you figured out, you're paying your medicals, your gym fees, and supplements, food, and and it's a bit out of your control as well. You got to sell tickets as well on these small horse shows. Another thing that people don't see. So right now, like you're fighting on Joshua undercard. Everyone, man and his dog, wants a ticket, but when you're fighting in little town halls against, and they say who you're fighting, he's like, I don't know. And then you find out probably the week before you're fighting a guy who's won 3, lost 65 or something. There's not many people want to come and watch. Do you know what I mean? So, but I appreciate the people from the beginning who have been up and down the country with me. But like I say, when you really needed them, it's a bit tough, really. But now everyone wants to buy a ticket, so you got to remember the people who was there at the beginning as well, ain't you?
They all want to be at Wembley, maybe not the Walsall or Wolverhampton town halls, the civic centres, etc.
Exactly,
but yet you've got those loyal fans, and you've got, as you say, a tight circle around you, a good family base. That's really important, isn't it? To have that security at least, because the road is hard, and there are the ups and downs as you found. You haven't got an unblemished record. There's been tough moments, and you need that trust around you, don't you? The right people.
Yeah, 100%. And like I say, the family and my team with Errol Johnson, everyone at BCB, Paul, man, that they put so much belief in. They make you so you believe in yourself from the belief that they give you, and plus the training that they make you do. And I'm quite open with it, really. Like I do this for me, really. It's all right saying, like a lot of people say, I do it for my kids and stuff, but I don't really do it for my kids. I do it for me. I'm sure if I quit boxing now, without being big-headed, my kids are still going to love me. Do you know what I mean? So I do it because I've just got a competitive nature and I want to win, and I like to see how far I can go in this game. Do you know what I mean? I don't like living with regrets. You got a whole life of doing what else you want to do after that. I think I'm 33 now, so people say, how long have you got left? But it depends on how well you're doing, isn't it? If you keep winning, you keep going. But if I get to a point where I'm taking big shots all the time and I never used to be taking these, or they might be having more of an effect on me, then, I'm sensible enough to think I know when the time's done, but I feel I can keep getting better and better with age at the minute.
You're very sensible. It's a good attitude to have. You've got good people around you. And Errol, I'd love to have him on the Voice of Boxing podcast. He's a character, isn't he? He's been around for a long time. There's not much he doesn't know about the sport. He's been brilliant, hasn't he, for especially your part of the country, the Midlands.
Yeah, definitely. And he's a bit of an unsung hero, really. I think it's only recently he started getting on a few photos, and he doesn't really do no social media and stuff. He's very, old school. We call him Root of a Dinosaur, to be fair. But but yeah, we've just been away in Tenerife, and no one can get hold of him because his phone's not working over there. He's got a phone from 1993 or something. But it just we just leave him to it. I don't think he's going to change now the way he works. But when it comes to boxing, he knows his stuff.
That's fantastic. And you've got that team, and it doesn't matter. You don't need 25, 30 people around you. You don't need this, that, and the other. You've got your heartbeat, haven't you? You've got who you want in that corner, and they're the ones that know you best.
Yeah, I think they know me better than I know myself. And I think even as a team, you learn, didn't you? Every fight and stuff, and every camp. Like sometimes before I've had fights where I felt a bit flat, really, and I can learn from that because I'm not a person to say, "Oh, I'm not doing that. I feel tired today." I'd still do it. So I really need them to like know me, which they do, and they say, "Have an easier day or something today instead of this." Because beforehand I would just carried on, but even argue against them. No, do this, but they know what's best. So they say, I mean, it's very rare they might say, "Have an easier day." Do you know what I mean? I've got to be like barely standing up, but they say, "Yeah, just take it easier today," or I don't know, we'll do 6 rounds instead of 10. But you know, in the long run, that's you only need to perform on the night, don't you? Doesn't matter in your gym, your spars and stuff. I'd lose every spar. I hate losing every spar. I mean, any spar, to be honest. I don't like losing a round, but I'd lose every single round in sparring as long as I performed on the night. And I think that's what you got to take into the fight night, into your camps. I think the more experience you get, you realise you can't perform every time in sparring. You're tired. You don't know what the other guy's done. Do you know what I mean? So you might have been resting all day while you've had 2 sessions. But that used to beat me up. But now I just think, oh, it's all right. I've done the work. And by the time you've come down and winded down for fight week, you're ready to perform.
Tyler, just take your finger across away from the camera. That's it. That's it. No, it's spoiling your good looks. It's okay. We can pick up, no problem at all. So what was the big decision to go full-time pro like 3 years ago? What made you think I've got to do this? Was it a bad moment in the sport? Was it the fact that someone said to you, look, you've got to take this really seriously 100% if you want to fulfill your ambitions, and you've got to put your day job on hold?
It was mad, really. I fought Derek Azazi. He was on a fight zone. It was on a car park in Sheffield at the time. It was just after COVID, so there's a bit of restrictions and
I remember
stuff.
those, yeah.
So I asked this guy, S&R Construction, for if he'd sponsor me for a month so I could have it off work. And he said, yeah, I'd have sponsor you for a month. So I had unpaid work for a month, and he gave me the wages that I missed out. And I won that fight, and he was well chuffed. And he phoned me up, well, a day or 2 afterwards. I was already back at work by then. And he said, that was great. You should have a year off work. I was like, well, I can't just have a year off work. Do you know what I mean? In an ideal world, that'd be great. He says, nah, ask him. I asked my work. They said no. He said he would have paid me. He said, well, I'll tell you what, quit your job. He said, quit your job and I'll help you out for a year. And even then, I had 3 kids at the time. I said, I can't just quit my job because I never know what's going to go on. I wasn't earning big money then. And then he gave me a reassurance that if boxing doesn't work out, I can have a job at his place and stuff. So I handed him a notice in the next day. But it's mad, really, because he asked me, he said, you need to do this, you need to do that. And he put me in a situation. I thought, wow, it seemed a bit too good to be true at the time. But here I am 3 years later or so, and I've kept winning. He keeps threatening me. He said, you got to keep winning in order for this deal to happen. But I don't know if he's joking or I think he's being serious, to be honest. So that's a bit of motivation as well.
He was probably being serious at the beginning, but now you just keep winning and you keep upsetting the odds. As you say, there's the fighters with the zeros on that you're turning over. You've had an incredible run, Tyler. You're arguably one of the best in any weight division in the country. You're absolutely flying. What's the secret? Is it that it's perseverance? Is it that it's just starting to come together? What's the key here?
I think a bit of everything, and I think probably the main ingredient is the no working. I can't, it's the rest that I'm getting in. So I'm putting, whereas you might have gone and put 80% into a session because that's all your body would allow you. I'm putting 100% into every session. So I'm training and it's the rest. I can't exaggerate how much rest is important. So I train. I get up in the morning, have some breakfast, go for a run, get some breakfast, boxing 10 till 12, then have a nap about 1 o'clock, and then go again in the evening. But I just feel great, and because I have worked before as well, I just think I don't want to go back to that life. I enjoy little things like taking the kids to school and picking them up, and little things like that. That you never a bit of flexibility in life instead of doing a 9 till 5. It's not for me.
I'm just looking at your record and the amount that you've put together and the wins of your opponents against their defeats. And there's very few defeats in the last 6, 7. There's the couple of fights you had with River Wilson Bent, which we remember, the controversial draw, the victory. Brad Ray, of course, was undefeated. Brad Pauls, Macaulay McCowan, very few defeats. Matteo Signani, as we know, that's the one that you got by stoppage, and then Felix Cash, of course. It's brilliant, and I hope that you feel very proud of yourself to where you've got to, the European champion. I can't believe it, thinking about when I maybe saw you in Coventry 2 or 3 years ago, and it was just a different world, wasn't it? A different world, and it was okay. You've got this fight again, and it didn't seem to be. It was around the sort of Midlands area level. I'm thinking, Tyler's he's a good fighter, but how far is he going to go? And wow, it's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I never would have thought that myself. To be honest, someone said to me, "Would you win a European title?" It was that far out of my reach at the time that I never really give it a thought. But yeah, to keep winning, to keep taking these fights that people think I got no chance in. Even after I beat River, and then I have Ben Shalom sometimes about it, because I know obviously we were on the same team now, but at the time that was all set up for Brad Ray to win. I remember at the press conference, and he was talking about Brad Ray is going to be the next Ricky Hatton of Manchester and all this stuff. And I was thinking, hang on a minute, I'm going to beat this guy. So just can't. It's like I was getting dismissed, but I don't take nothing to heart. I get it's a business, and that's what there's going to do. And then even the Brad Pauls fight after that, and it's made my win against him look better now. He's the British champion after his great performance against Nathan Heaney. And then after I had the McGowan one, and that's the one I felt like, I think I fought November, February, then May, and I just felt flat in that fight. 2 weeks before, I remember I'd done a 10-round spar, and I probably never won 30 seconds of the 10 rounds. You know what I mean? But that's where I've learned to ease back a bit now all the time. When your body's tired, you got to listen to your body a bit. Then we've gone into the Signani fight, which is massive for me. And the biggest one of all so far today was the Felix Cash. I know he was coming off a break, but I think the fact that he was with Adam Booth, I don't think if Adam Booth never believed in him, he's got his reputation and as well.
Adam Booth, absolutely gets involved with
I'm with if he never thought of it. It's not like Adam Booth needs the money or anything like that. He does it because he wants champions. So
he gets involved with very good fighters, doesn't he? And it was a great win, and of course on a away show as well. And you saw Ben Shalom's sort of fist in the air afterwards. It was a steal. It was a win. It was an away, away from home. It's almost like question of sport when you go home or away and you get the extra points. It was doubly as good. And yeah, you must have thought, wow, this is just fantastic. I'm now standing as a European champion, and also I've beaten one of the stars of the Matchroom stable, and that's great. Now I can go on holiday. Hang on a minute. I'm going to get a call here that's going to change my life even more.
Well, that was the plan, really. Have a chill out with the kids and that for a few weeks, and then the next day I had the phone call, and I was like, even on the phone call, I thought, man, this is just. I never really thought much into it. Really,
who was the call from? Was it from Errol or Ben?
Yeah, Errol rang me about it, but then that was on the Sunday. But I never really thought much of it, and then I had a call off Ben on the Monday. So when Ben rang me, I thought, wow, it's got something behind it then, really. Tuesday I went to Sky Studios, just talk about the fight that's just happened. And then Tuesday night, I think it was 10:30, I had a phone call off Fel saying, yeah, it's all done. We need to go to be at Wembley in the morning. I was like, wow, I couldn't sleep that night. It's proper surreal in them days was just crazy. But, you know, I feel like, again, without being big-headed, I feel like if anyone deserves it, I do, from the names that I've just said that I've beaten. And it's going to be the same situation with Hamzah Sheeraz. No one's going to give me much of a chance. I get it. It's not like I take it to heart. Hamzah's look great. But, you know, Brad Ray, Brad Pauls, Felix Cash, they all look great as well, didn't they? So I believe in myself. I'm going to get the job done. And I can't wait. I'm buzzing for it.
I absolutely love your attitude. I'm a big fan of Hamzah Sheeraz as well. I think he's a great fighter, and of course he'll start a favourite. He's seen as the star of British boxing. As you said, you've already dismissed a few of those hopes. There's no pressure on you. You come in, you feel good about yourself. You're on this fantastic run. You've got plenty of ability. You've got bags of experience. We should not be writing you off in any way, shape, or form. And those who do at their peril, don't they?
Yeah, 100%. And like I say, I don't take nothing to heart. I think if I was a neutral, I'd pick Hamzah Sheeraz probably as well. But I've just got that much confidence in myself now. I'll go into the ring just. I expect to win. Do you know what I mean? I expect nothing else but a win, and to win in dominant fashion as well. I have to be realistic. I have to think Hamzah Sheeraz is the kind of like the superstar of the future. He's an ambassador for Riyadh season. And this is not me making excuses. It's the opposite. But I'm thinking, if it's a close fight, I don't think I'm getting the fight. I need to win, and win convincingly. I think that's boxing for you. I think, you know, so my plan is to win there, and not just win by, you know, a round or two. I need to either knock him out or win where there's no talk of who could be the winner. That's why I'm getting into every session that I do now, full of confidence, full of just adrenaline. I think the adrenaline's carried on from the Felix Cash fight, and it doesn't get any bigger for me. I could be fighting anyone. I would have said yes, fighting at Wembley Stadium on the undercard of Anthony Joshua and Dubois. And when they're saying it's like saying no disrespect to Hamzah, but he's just a middleweight. I would have thought, but they said, would you move up to light heavyweight and fight this guy? I said, yeah, 100%, just for the experience. Do you know what I mean? But as excited I am, I don't want people thinking I'm just going there just for that. Winning is the be all and end all for me. I'd rather fight at Walsall Town Hall and win than fight at Wembley Stadium and lose.
It's a wonderfully refreshing attitude you have, and I think you sound like you're in really good shape mentally, physically, and every way before the biggest night of your life. Because of course it will be, and the experience of whatever they pack into Wembley, whether they'll break the record, I think it was 94,000 for Tyson Fury and Dillian White, whether they'll get more than that, it's certainly going to be an occasion and a night to remember forever. For your friends, for your family, for yourself. But it's a ring, right? And it's a job, and it's business, and business is being taken care of pretty well at the moment. You're the European champion, not him. Yes, he's the golden boy. He's the star. We love what he's done so far. He was fantastic against Ammo Williams in Saudi. I thought he was... he dealt with a crisis pretty well, and he's ticked every box. He looks the part, he speaks well, as you say, he's the ambassador for Riyadh season, and it reminds me of, I think, Richie Woodall when he fought Glenn Catley, and it was a very close fight, and Richie said, no, Glenn, you won that fight, even though you got the decision. And I thought, wow, that's just being really genuine, honest, and really, as I said, refreshing to hear. But, you know, let's be honest, he's not met Tyler Denny yet. There's all these hopes for Hamzah, and he may well go on and be the superstar that people are predicting, but he's got to deal with you, and that's a tough ask for him. At least that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I rate Hamzah myself. I think on what he's done, I think Eubank's the bigger name, but I think Hamzah's probably number one in Britain. I'd put that. Which is good for me, because when I beat the number one in Britain, then I'll become the number one in Britain. Do you know what I mean? So I don't get these fighters who like say he's no good, he's no good. So when you beat him, you've beat no one any good. I'd like to big him up to say he's going to be this, he's going to be that. So when I beat him, you have to give me the same talk. As good as he is, I think. Obviously, as a fan, the 5v5 card was very good, wasn't it? I thought he performed good against Ammo Williams, but looking back as an opponent now, you see the second round when Ammo caught him. He got dropped against Torres, I think, before. Bradley Skeet was outboxing him before the controversial sort of finish. I know this is years ago and stuff, but still, there's stuff to look at to think, well, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And at the end of the day, I have to be myself because I'm not Bradley Skeet. I'm not going to be able to move and jab the way Skeet does. He's a great boxer. That's not my style, do you know what I mean? But I will make it very uncomfortable for him. And I'll put him to the test. I don't think he's going to come through the test very well. Obviously, that's why I'm taking the fight. But, we're there to test him. And I think he's going to be my hardest fight, and I'm definitely going to be his hardest fight. So we'll see how that goes.
I know you're not going to give any secrets away. I'm sure that there are things you've seen, as you mentioned there, that we've all seen, the little struggle he had in that second round against Hamzah Williams, the one or two other things through his career. And to be fair to Hamzah, he's come up, he's been on small hall shows as well. He's come through and he's done extremely well. But there's a lot of pressure on him. He's carrying that ambassador position now. He's carrying a lot of hopes on his shoulders. You can relax, go about your work, and I'm sure Errol and your very savvy team have spotted the ways to try and exploit him, and you'll have a game plan that I'm sure you will execute in the best way you can possibly do. And that's what it comes down to, doesn't it? It's a fight over 12 rounds. It's a fight in a ring, be it at Wembley or Walsall Town Hall. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, it's you two and the referee, and on you go.
Yeah, I just think the other thing is, I think the pressure is on him because, like you say, the superstar sort of the way he got built up. But I put a lot of pressure on myself, I do, because I think, I don't even like saying it, but say for us to lose, yeah, where do I go from here? Because that's the belt gone, and then how many people would pick me as like a voluntary fighter? I think I'd be in the bit of who needs them club, which I know that. So it's so important for me to win as well. So I put so much pressure on myself to win, and like I say, I hate losing, so I'm not just going there to take part. It's a bit mad as well, really, because obviously for his Ammo Williams fight, I sparred him for that fight as well, which is not even long ago. So we only done 4 rounds. I think they asked us to come back up, but we was focusing on Cash then, so it wasn't really good rounds. But like, so I can't take nothing of it because fair play to him. I think he done 12 rounds before I even got in. Do you know what I mean? So we've done 4 rounds, and it was a bit of a nothing spar, really. I can't really take nothing of it from it, but we've kind of just feeling each other out. But at the time, obviously, I think we both thought we wasn't going to fight each other. We did to be sparring. He fought June, didn't he? So it must have been beginning of May, maybe end of April. We sparred, so it's not long ago.
Not long ago.
So who knows? Or maybe he thought that spar was easy, so we'll get him in for a fight. Who knows? We'll see. But
there's plenty of respect between the pair of you. You're both nice guys, and you just, you'll get on with business on the night, and the better man will win, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like we say, we've been dropping each other messages before, and I think the messages have stopped now. The messages have stopped now, and they'll probably continue after September the 21st. But we're both in each other's way of what we want to do, and so I think he never accepted this fight, didn't he? I think he's ranked number 1 in the WBC, number 1 in some other governing body. But saying that, I don't think I was the first. I'm not silly. I don't think I was the first option. I think they tried to get a world title fight. They tried to get the Eubank fight. Maybe they was going to give for Cash if Cash won. So I'm quite open to know. I'm not the first choice, probably fourth choice. But as long as I've got the opportunity, I'll win. Then I can start making demands of myself then.
I love your attitude. I love the honesty. I love the way that you analyse the situation, and you know every angle to which people are seeing this. And I guess all that matters is your angle and the fact that you've going out there to put on the performance of your life and win and defend that title on September the 21st. How far do you think you can go in the sport, Tyler? You said just a few minutes ago that, when we were around the area titles, you'd never dream of even a European belt, which is a major accolade. World honours, dare we dream?
I think I've got it, really. If I've European champion, I've already defended it once against a good name in Felix Cash. Everyone, Hamzah's got himself. I mean, everyone talks about it for. Can you see me still?
Oh, we can see you.
Oh, okay. Everyone talks about it for a reason. Why he's number one, and I think he deserves to be number one in these rankings. But you beat that guy, so surely you take them rankings or come close to it. So, well done is just round the corner. It's mad, really. World titles and stuff. I'm not crazy. Like, obviously, we'd all love world titles, but having 4 kids and stuff. I think my main thing is getting these big fights and securing the future and that, and getting an house that I'd want to get and little things like that. Because boxing is a short career, innit? I think you have to get what you can while you can. If world titles come along with that at the same time, even better. But if I had a choice between world titles or some crazy big offers in money, I'm taking the money.
Yeah, you're 33 now, and the career will end at some stage, probably late 30s. Who knows how many years you've got left in you. You've got a plan for the future, haven't you, as well? It's not just... It's difficult because you're so laser focused, tunnel visioned on succeeding, and a boxer's life is a lonely one. But there's a lot of life after you retire, and you've got the 4 kids, and I'm sure you can choose to do different things, and maybe not as much training or whatever. But you've got to think of things to do and put plans in place, haven't you? Have a structure.
I should do, really, and logically, I should do. I should do logically, but I refuse to do it, honestly. I've had that many people come with me, you want to put money into this or to do this when you finish boxing and stuff, and I just absolutely refuse to do anything. I don't want to. I don't get comfortable of having a plan B. Everything must be boxing for me, and I must win my next fight, or I don't know, or I'm gonna die or something. Do you know what I mean? I have to just be laser focused on the fight. It's like losing is not an option. I don't want to lose and say it's okay because I've got this to come into.
Mm-hmm.
It's just pure. It's pure. I've got to win or my life's over, like, sort of thing. That's my sort of mentality I have going into every session that I train in. But yeah, like you say, I think I wouldn't advise that on anyone else. That's just the way I like to. I don't want people listening to think, well, Tyler's not got no plans after boxing, so I'm going to do what he says. Like, no, that's just what gets me through. Just that's my my motivation. I think that I've got to win this because I've got nothing else. You know what I mean?
And when it is said and done, I'm sure there will be plenty of other things. You're a smart guy. You've got your feet on the ground, and you deserve all the success you've had from the sport. I know there's many admirers around British boxing, and you speak well. I'm sure there's plenty that you can do afterwards. But as you said, it's the desperation at the moment, isn't it, to earn that money and keep winning?
Yeah, and like, so I've got myself in a position now where I could have different options. Like when I first turned full time, I thought I'd give this a go for a few years, and maybe I'd have to go back to plumbing or something. But the last thing I want to do now is be fitting any more toilets and stuff. So I've got myself in a position now where I can probably pick and choose a bit more to a certain extent on what I'd like to do after boxing. But I'll deal with that choice when it comes. But I refuse to think into it. Like you say, I think financially as well, it could be a bad decision of what I'm doing now, but I just have to put everything into boxing. No plan B.
I know you want to win desperately, badly on September the 21st. Just want to ask you quickly about the ring walk. It's a long ring walk at Wembley. It's probably something you've never, ever had before. Have you thought about music? Have you thought about how you're going to almost enjoy it if you can? I know that the fight lies ahead, but you're probably only going to get one chance at doing this at the National Stadium, and you know, it's going to be there forever, isn't it? Have you thought a little bit about it?
Yeah, I put loads of thought into it, to be fair, because I always come out to Sean Paul Infiltrate, and people at the boxer got me to meet Sean Paul, and we're trying to get him to do see if he'd walk me out. Um, there's talks now, but I think because of the show at the weekend with Terence Crawford and stuff, hopefully we'll find out a bit more whether he's. I think he's up for it as
Be
well.
great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be great to be like. That's what I mean. It's like the last few weeks have been crazy. You think just when it's gone to the top, the pinnacle, then next thing you know, you're going backstage to meet Sean Paul and talking about him walking me out and stuff. But if I can get that done, then it doesn't get much better.
What will it mean to you to have your hand raised at the end of the fight, however, by stoppage or points? I suppose you don't mind. You say you got to win it wide because he's the favoured fighter, but you get the victory. What will that feeling be like afterwards?
It'd be unreal. It'd be unreal. It'd be unreal. I know, like, it's hard to say because it's not happened yet, but every fight, like from winning the Midlands area to the English or even the European, it's all the same feeling to me. I didn't get any more buzzing that I was when I won the European to the Midlands area because it was just the feeling of winning, no matter the surroundings or whatever. It's unreal. And every fight to me is a world title anyway. It's like it's my be all and all. It's my life. So, and boxing's like such a big game of snakes and ladders. You could keep going up. You have one loss, you can jump all the way back down the rankings and stuff. And like I said earlier, into the unis and clubs. So I think it's a bit more of a relief that you win and you know you're going to get another opportunity as well. Then, because like I said, I've not been promoted from the beginning after a big contract or any clauses. All my things are all fight by fight. So I never know what I'm walking into. Say if a loss comes, but I like that. I like that sort of insecurity. Really, it pushes me on. So I think the happiness of when I win is more of a relief that yes, I get to do this again because I never quite know what's going to happen.
It's been so good talking to you. I hear little traces of Errol Johnson in the way you speak. I hear Tyler Denny as an authentic and a real fighter and a great guy and a dad of four. And it's an absolute pleasure to have you on. I'm not going to let you go without a few quick fire questions. One is, who's your favourite fighter currently in the world?
Lomachenko, yeah. Being a southpaw and stuff. I wouldn't try and emulate him because he's too highly skilled for me, but just to watch him, 100%.
So it's Lomachenko there. Okay, who wins the main event, AJ or Dubois?
I think AJ, but you can never write Daniel Dubois off, can you? The amount of punch power he's got and stuff and aggressiveness. But I'll go for AJ. Okay,
you said about light heavyweight. You know, if Turkey paid you enough money, you'd probably fight there. What about Bivol and Batebiev? It's an absolute cracker, isn't it?
I know. I change my mind all the time. I think Batebiev, but I'm not confident on that. It's like 51-49 sort of thing. But what a fight that'd be. If it happens, hopefully October, isn't it? But hopefully that's the one that everyone wants to see, isn't it?
And then just before Christmas, a pre-Christmas cracker, of course, with the rematch of Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. What happens?
I think I'd go for Usyk again. I think that ninth round was a massive thing. You know, knowing that he can hurt Fury, I think it will be a big thing going in. And also Fury knowing he can be hurt by Usyk because maybe he knew that anyway, because I know he's a good talker and he talks a load of waffle, but he's great with his boxing knowledge as well, didn't he? So, but I never expected that ninth round. And also, I think if that's any other boxer in the world, maybe the fight gets stopped in the ninth round. So,
yeah, he's a pretty good southpaw, isn't he, Alexander Usyk, the undisputed king pound for pound. Even Terence Crawford is saying that. Another southpaw. There's southpaws everywhere. You're a bit of a nightmare to fight, and maybe Hamzah Sheeraz will find that out on September the 21st. What I do know is we're in for a fantastic night. It's an amazing event. It's a wonderful card. Personally, I can't wait for every single one of the fights. I really wish you the best, Tyler. I hope you can at some stage enjoy it and take it in. I know it will be very, very hard. I remember my dad saying to me before AJ Klitschko, he said, just put your headphones down for 10, 15 seconds and just take in and appreciate where you are.
Yeah.
And it's very different, I suppose, being a fighter. But yeah, this is an amazing night for you, and I really hope that you enjoy it and give it your absolute best. I'm sure you will. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you, Annie. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Tyler, good luck in the rest of your training camp. We'll see you September the 21st. That's The Voice of Boxing, episode 9 done with Tyler Denny. What a great guy. What a refreshing attitude. What a lovely story. A man that keeps winning and keeps winning. And he's coming after Hamzah Sheeraz, the golden boy, the ambassador for Riyadh season, who's undefeated, and he's going to the top. But is he? Tyler Denny's in front of him. Don't miss it, September the 21st. Voice of Boxing podcast in association with Lounges TV. Goodbye from Tyler and myself. We'll see you soon.